Well, growing up in growing up in New Orleans is unique. Certain types of music are indigenous to various parts of the entire state of Louisiana. The only place in America where there are things that you won't hear outside of New Orleans. It's like you hear like some Metis songs, and they mean nothing to anybody around here. You go to New Orleans and everybody just gets up and starts dancing because of the beat. It's indigenous to the culture there. Growing up in a place like that exposes you to all different types of music, more so than if I'd been someplace else. And contrary to popular belief, when I was growing up, I didn't like jazz. But the thing that I could appreciate is the fact that I grew up in a jazz environment. Like, I think the biggest mistake that a lot of people, even psychologists, make is by saying that, well, musical guys who play music and are musically gifted and all that, they grew up loving music or they grew up listening to music. And that's not the issue. The issue is being exposed. And I remember at the earliest age of the 2 or 3, hearing music, not being able to respond to it, but I know I was there, and not liking classical music and not liking jazz, but I heard it whether I liked it or not. It was there. I know a lot of people say, well, man, I dig jazz. I started learning it 2 years ago. And they're like in their 20s. It's like they say, well, what was your first experience in jazz? Hell, my first experience in jazz was when I was in the womb listening to my father practice. And then when Joe Zawinul came over to the house with Cannonball, and I hated it. I was sitting on the sofa and they were playing music and I was bored to death, right? But it's like I was there. I was listening to this stuff. And I think that that plays a major role in my musical development. And just being in the city where that kind of stuff was around, when you got places like Tipitina's and places like Jed's where most people never heard of, where all these bands would come in and play and you could walk down the street. And all of the little clubs and the Black Indians in New Orleans and the Mardi Gras tradition and the Professor Longhairs and the Dr. John Mac Ravenite.